Hey there! If you are interested in how to make a creative career work, then this video is for you. Hi, I'm Meredith, a book lover and author figuring out how to turn creativity into a career. My years in brand strategy taught me how to break down big ideas and turn them into clear insights. And now I'm sharing the best lessons to help you build the creative life you love. First, a rant on what I want this channel to be. Right now I'm really interested in how to make a creative career work. And this is something I've been exploring for the past 2 or 3 years. On this channel, I want to talk about books and ideas and lifestyle and career. I'm really interested in that intersection of writing and storytelling and brand strategy and how they intersect. I was a strategic planner for many years, and I almost think of this channel as life planning. Oftentimes for my job, I would write a brief, which is just basically the project on a page. And now I've started to write a brief for my life, and I use those brand storytelling templates to build what I want my story to be and I want my creative career to look like. And so I'll write a brief complete with objectives and goals, and I'll apply that to my YouTube channel, to my books, and really just my life across all of its facets, from relationships to finances to physical health, mental health, spiritual health. You get the idea. And so I want this channel and this space to be so much more than books. Books are where I get some of my big ideas, and I'd love to share condensed versions of those with you. But I'd also love to kind of geek out and expand on those ideas and how they're applying to my life and action steps on how I'm getting to my creative career. And just for context, a few of the things I'm doing right now, and I'm still very much on this early journey with you if you are interested in a creative career. I published my first picture book in 2023. Since 2023, I've been working on a new picture book, and that is in its final stages of editing. I'm also writing a novel right now. I can't believe I'm saying that. It's going to be a middle grade fantasy novel. I also have a blog over on my Instagram, as well as a Substack that I've been trying to write at least one post weekly. I also have this YouTube, of course, and then I've done a few brand collaborations as well. So I would love to extract the ideas that I'm learning from books and also the lessons I'm learning as a total newbie to trying out this creative career thing, and I'd love to share that with you. I also live in New Orleans, which is such a literary, artistic hub, and I'd love to bring you along with me on my different adventures. And I'm also exploring a new venture in the brand strategy world. More to come on that in another video. The reason I bring this up is I am very much at the beginning of my journey in so many ways. This is my 3rd YouTube video. I just started doing things with brands. I've been writing a Substack for about 30 people, most of them of which are my close friends and family. So I'm very new to this in many ways, and so I'd love if you'd follow along with me. We can learn together, learn from each other. I'd love to meet more creative entrepreneurs. So really, you're here with me at ground zero. It's day 1, and you can come follow along with me as I figure out and navigate this messy path. The author and entrepreneur James Altucher has what he calls a list of experiments. Every single day, he writes down a list of 10 ideas. And this can be ideas for anything. Ideas for new blog posts that he could write, ideas for a new product he can invent, ideas for a way to fix a problem. And usually 7 out of 10 of these ideas are horrible, but sometimes 3 of the ideas are really out of the box, out there thinking that he never would have come up with if he didn't write that list. And then once you do this practice every day, you're greasing the wheels to get your imagination going and to think of more creative and entrepreneurial opportunities. And so I've been trying this and writing 10 ideas every day of experiments that I could try. And so for about the past month or so, I've been writing down all these different experiments and trying them. So like, for example, I dog sit on Rover. And one of the things I wrote down was try posting a flyer at my local coffee shop to just dog sit locally so I don't have to pay fees to the Rover app. Also, one of the experiments I wrote down was to try a YouTube channel, which I am trying right now. I'm also interested in UGC, user-generated content, and upping my engagement with various brands. And then I listed out my social media channels and talked about how I might want to scale those up or down and how I want to approach it differently. And then I also have some fun sort of creative ideas for projects that I want to make. Another experiment I'm trying is having a word count goal for my novel. So normally I would just write when I feel like it, write for a period of time, but I actually want to try to get to write at least 500 words. And I have a calendar actually right behind this camera, and every single day when I write my 500 words, I check off the day on the calendar. And this has been helping me so much. It's sort of gamifying my experience, and as a result, I've written so many more thousands of words than I would have if I hadn't tried this experiment. And then I had a few ideas on this list that I tried and they didn't really work, or they'd failed for whatever reason, and that's okay too. It's all about experimentation. So that's kind of the gist, and you can try writing experiments yourself and see where it takes you. I'd also love to hear from you. What do you want to see on this channel? I know some folks follow me for book reviews and book content, others for writing advice, and others for sort of just seeing what I'm up to in my life. And I sort of thought this could be an extension of my Substack blog and the types of ideas I write about on there. For example, my goal to traditionally publish my second book and how I'm going to do that, different side hustles I'm pursuing, and then different big ideas I come across in personal finance books, self-help books, and how I'm applying them to my own life. So if that sounds good to you, comment down below, what are you trying to accomplish with your creativity? Are you trying to make a career out of it? Is it more of a side hustle? Let me know. It also reminds me of the book The Pathless Path by Paul Millerd. I'll put the book up here. And one of the central premises of his book is that there is a traditional path that many people follow. They go to school, they get the good job, they go to the school so they can get the good job, so that they can get the promotion, so that they can get the house, get married, etc., etc., etc. But there's also a pathless path where you sort of go off of that track, and maybe people judge you for it and think, this person is nuts. Why would they give up that amazing consulting gig at McKinsey and write books for a living? And that's actually exactly what he did. But because he took that leap and diverted from the traditional path and decided to go and bet on himself, he ended up going to Taiwan to write, and he ended up meeting his wife there. Now they're married, had children, and he's following his pathless path, which involves writing, which is his favorite thing to do, doing talks, podcasts, and overall being creative. And so this really appealed to me. I think if I could choose my pathless path, it would probably be traveling around the world and writing books about animals. This is not a normal thing that people do, but if I could travel and also inspire others or educate others on things like this YouTube and not be time or place dependent on, like with a typical 9-to-5 job, that would be so ideal. And so there's no career title that is traveling around and writing books about animals. But on the pathless path, you can really define that. And I think it's great for people that are multi-passionate. I don't necessarily believe you need to do the exact same thing for your entire career over the whole course of your life. I think that people change and our interests change. You could even do 2 different things at the same time, or 3 different things. And I think that makes life more varied and more interesting and fun. And new opportunities might crop up that you never expected. For example, the other weekend I did a home cafe party, which is essentially an idea that I saw on TikTok where you turn your home for one day only into a cafe. And so I made specialty lattes and matcha drinks and cold foams. And of course, everything was super aesthetic. Basically turned my house into a coffee shop. And the response was crazy. People were messaging me saying, can you do this for my wedding? Can you make this a pop-up? When are you going to do this again? Well, I was so surprised by the response because I really just did it for fun. But you never know when a new opportunity or business idea will pop up. Just following your passions, doing my home cafe. I'm now bringing my barista bar to my friend's wedding this weekend. So we'll see where that goes. So I know this has been a bit of a rambly video, but if you're still here, you're probably a bit like me. You are creative, you have these ideas of maybe different ventures that you want to do, but you're not sure how to start them, or if it's more of a side hustle, or if it could take over and replace your full-time job. The dog that I'm babysitting on Rover just curled up in the sun behind me. Hey girl! By the way, watching a dog on Rover is a great side hustle because you just get to hang out with dogs and it really doesn't feel like much work. And you can also work on your other creative projects when you have a dog curled up next to you. It's great. So anyway, I hope that I gave you a few ideas, things to try. Try the... Maybe you could take some of my own personal examples and apply them to your life, and maybe it's sparking ideas for different projects or opportunities that you can pursue. We really just have one life. I always think about the words of Mary Oliver when she said, "What are you going to do with this one wild and precious life?" And I think I'm paraphrasing, which I'll link down in the doobly-doo. That's a Vlogbrothers Hank and John Green reference. For those old school YouTubers, you'll know. And I'm so glad that you are on this journey with me. You'll probably see my highs, my lows, my failures, and also hopefully my triumphs. So let's do this together. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.